Hi, I'm Peggy, and as you know, it is Lymphedema Awareness Month 2018, and I have been doing lots of really fun videos. Today is going to be a lot of fun because I have my poop friend with me.
Your crappy friend.
My crappy friend.
I'm your crappy friend.
Pam, introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
My name is Pam. I am a colon hydrotherapist. I'm also a massage therapist, which is a nice little tool to have in my belt. I've been doing body work for about 15 years, and I help people poop. Or I just knock the crap out of them if they don't want to cooperate with me.
She knocks the crap out of me on a regular basis. Not as regular as I should, probably.
But if you came and saw me, then you could get regular.
Yes, I told you it's going to be some poop humor today. So, obviously, when you have lymphedema, you have problems getting rid of toxins, and your body gets overwhelmed. And one of the ways we can help get rid of that when we're doing detoxes, or we're just eating healthy, or just day to day, is to get it all cleaned out.
Yes, and the liver is the filter for the body for toxins. Liver does dump into the colon, but so does the spleen. The spleen is like Grand Central Station for lymphatic fluid. And so there have been times where during a colonic, it actually looks like oily clouds going across the top. And I have had people who have done this in conjunction with other treatments, and it just looks like a big blob of slime. But they're getting rid of the spent lymphatic fluid, hopefully regenerating new lymphatic fluid so that the lymph system can filter toxins a lot easier. When we're getting rid of toxins that the liver should be taking care of, or the kidney should be taking care of by, drinking water, then it doesn't put as much burden on the lymphatic system. Because the lymphatic system actually filters out from the blood. But, the colon has a huge arterial blood supply that is attached to, which is, we're kind of looking at this right over in here. And so as I'm basically stirring the pot.
Stirring the
crap pot. I won't say bad words. Then that goes back into the bloodstream. Once it's back into the bloodstream, then it can overload the lymphatic system, because now the lymphatic system is dealing with the blood. It filters out of the blood. So
you met me. We actually didn't meet for this. We met at another event. We met different, and we were talking, and you met me right when I was in my going through losing weight and eating healthy and trying to get my pH balance up, and we were just in conversation. I think you might have even said, what's up with your leg, or I don't know how the conversation started, but you were like, oh, well, do you get colonics? And I was like, no. Why would I do that? So, I'm always talking about how important it is to drink water and, eat clean and all these things. But the other thing I tell people is don't just go out and do a detox.
Ooh.
Because you can actually get yourself sicker.
It's called the cleansing crash or cleansing crisis. So basically the colon is the sewage system for the whole body. So if that sewage system is not moving, and you're doing all this hard work, you're sacrificing, you're not eating your sugar, you're whatever it is that you're doing, taking the special pills or tinctures or whatever, you're breaking up all these toxins. But if they have nowhere to go, that's like cleaning the house and piling all the trash by the front door.
Right.
You want that front door open so you can take it straight on out to the dumpster. You want that sewage system moving. Otherwise, like I said, that huge arterial blood supply, the body will start reabsorbing those toxins that you just worked so hard to break up. And
another thing, I have a hard time with, I don't know if anybody else with lymphedema notices this, but like if I work out, I'll swell. I mean, like I can, swell for weeks. It takes me weeks to get that out, because when you work out, the toxins work their way out of the muscle. So it's the same thing. When you're bottlenecked and your toxins don't have anywhere to go and you pull them out, then they're just sitting there, and it's worse. So So that's why I learned that, I know when I'm like, oh, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do and things aren't working right and feeling right, then I come in and literally get cleaned out.
And how do you feel after?
Amazing. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. People don't like to come see me, but they love how they feel usually right after or the next day.
And if you've never ever gotten a colonic before, this is something you should not be afraid of. I was really afraid. But it's not painful. It's not comfortable. I mean, it's not something you do for fun.
I always tell people that it feels like, why did I have that third piece of pumpkin pie after Thanksgiving dinner? That really super bloated feeling. Uncomfortable is okay. Pain is never okay.
Right. So here's the thing I want to talk to you about. Now, I have talked to people, and I've heard some people tell horrible stories about what happens when they go to get a colonic. So as much as I want to tell all my viewers, you need to, get this done regularly, blah, how do they find somebody that they can trust? Because obviously if you're in Southern California, you should see Pam. But if you're not in Southern California, how do you know who you're going to? Like,
you really don't. The two ways that people find me is Yelp reviews. And when they call here, they will ask for me specifically. And I'm like, oh, okay, who referred you? And they're like, no, I read your reviews on Yelp and you have excellent reviews. And that's why I wanted to see you and only you. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. But there's also the International Association of Colon Hydrotherapy. And it's called IACT. And so it's I-ACT.org, and you could search for the place that's nearest to you. So you would put in either your area code, your zip code. It has various different search engines. These are people that went through a training and got certified. So, unfortunately, different horror stories, people have different work ethics. So sometimes when I've heard people complain that when they're on the table, they feel like they're a captive audience because obviously you're plugged in.
Right.
And people just try to sell them the moon, like, oh, I have, the Brooklyn Bridge for sale. I have always tried to treat people the way I want to be treated. I don't like high pressure sales, period. We carry products here, and I always tell people we carry products as a convenience. Use what you have at home. This is what we have. This is what I recommend. But I let them make their own decision and listen to your body. Oh my gosh, that's huge. You have to be in tune with your body because what works for you may not work for this person.
And that's definitely something I've been nailing in every video is everybody's body is different.
And changes.
We were talking about this before we turned on. Sometimes I feel like, oh, I've got this figured out. I know what works for me. I've got this down. And then all of a sudden, it's like you're putting a puzzle together and, oh, things are fitting together and things are going great. And then all of a sudden the picture changes. Yep. And you have to figure out how to put the puzzle together again.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing. I always think that I'm probably more in tune to my body than the average person because I have to be.
Right.
Because if I screw up, I could end up in the hospital with cellulitis or, be in bed for 6 months or whatever it may be. So I feel like I have to be in tune to my body if I want to live an active life. And,
a healthy life.
A healthy life. I have to know, okay, if I do this, what are the consequences going to be? And, what am I going to do to solve that, Right. So I think that's, it's so important that you know your body.
Absolutely.
Keep a journal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a journal on my phone. It's an app. I think it's called like One Day or something like that. But it literally reminds me, hey, you haven't written in me today. And I can just write little notes like this is what I ate or this is what I did or this is how I felt or, just something to remind me. So, if I wake up tomorrow all swollen, I can go, what did I do the last couple of days?
Right. And sometimes it could be you didn't sleep well or you didn't get enough water.
So you can tell on me. It's okay. I saw her today and she's like, somebody's not doing their water intake very, very good. And I'm usually really on top of that.
Yeah,
you really
usually
are. That's probably why you commented today. You're like, who are you?
Right.
But water is just so important.
Yeah, rule of thumb is usually half of your body weight in ounces per day. if you drink coffee, caffeine, anything caffeine, caffeine's dehydrating. So you want to go with more water to kind of compensate for that. I like alkaline water with electrolytes. One of the things that they say about having a colonic is it can flush your electrolytes. Well, drink a bottle of water with electrolytes afterwards, or the probiotics. Right. Take some probiotics, or if you really like sauerkraut has a ton of probiotics. So, there's different ways, to do things.
Who doesn't like sauerkraut? So I'm gonna just reiterate one thing that you said, just because I have viewers that are international. So when she said drink half of your body weight in ounces, she doesn't mean like if you weigh.
You weigh 150
if
pounds.
If it's pounds, then yeah,
75 ounces.
So your body weight in pounds, cut that number in half, and then change it to ounces, and that's about how many ounces you should be drinking.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much a good rule of thumb. Mm-hmm. So, that's otherwise you're not hydrated. And once you get hydrated, it's amazing. You can tell. Like I can tell. Yeah. I'm like, wow, I haven't drank my water. Like I can feel it immediately now. And I went most of my life without ever drinking water. And,
right.
Didn't know. You don't know how good how bad you feel until you feel good. And you're like, oh, wow.
Another thing, too, is the older we get, the less digestive enzymes our body creates. So even really, really super important to chew your food. You should chew it until it's almost liquid before you swallow it. And that is probably one of the biggest problems that I have with people, is because when they're not chewing their food, then that gets them really gassy. And those gas blocks can be even more painful than, people think they're constipated. And I'm looking and going, you're not constipated. What's going on here? But I have several nurses that are clients that work up at two of our local hospitals are basically right in this neighborhood. And they tell me all the time, people come in swearing they're having appendicitis, and
it's gas.
It's gas, or the transverse colon runs right across here. So if it's up underneath the rib cage, way up under here, it could feel like you're having a heart attack, and then people fart and their heart attack goes away.
The power of the fart. So, and I just think it's really something that a lot of people don't talk about. So talk to me. I don't know how much you knew about lymphedema before I showed up, but I know that you've done your homework and you know a lot about it now. And I know that you were quite aware of it when I said, oh, it's lymphedema. You're like, oh, and you started having a conversation with me, and I was like, oh my God, somebody that, is in the medical profession and knows something. It was amazing.
Yeah. Because my son's godmother has it, so I was familiar with that. The woman who trained me to be a colon hydrotherapist has also struggled with it over the years. I also got a lot of really valuable information from her. I knew about, and plus, being a massage therapist,
right?
You get trained in lymphatic massages, which, for the most part, you don't feel like you had a massage afterwards.
No, because it's light. And almost all of my viewers know exactly what that is. It's like, it's not the deep tissue, a lymphatic, it's just the light touch.
Right.
But because your lymphatic system is right underneath your skin, that's all you need.
Actually, your lymphatic system, I keep little charts so that I could show people, like, look, while you're on the table, runs throughout your entire body. And you have groups. You have a ton underneath the armpit. You have a ton at the clavicle area, a lot in the abdomen region. So if, you have a lot going on, the colon's getting full, people have issues during that time of the month when the colon gets full and everything's fighting for room and it gets really crampy. It could be pinching some of this lymphatic, stuff as well. Sitting all day long with, the ones in the groin area behind the knees. I mean, you guys, most of you know, what's going on. So some of them are actually a little deeper. That's why they say to do the rebounder or to do other things. Riding a motorcycle, trampoline, all sorts of things help, You know about the chi machine. You have a chi machine here. Yes.
And I swear by my chi machine. I love my chi machine.
I turned you on to that.
No, I purchased this before I knew I had lymphedema. I purchased this years ago from
intuition.
No, it was a crazy lady. She was one of those, now because I was young and I thought she was crazy because I didn't know anything about this holistic way of living and drinking, but she grabbed me and she said, "What's wrong with your leg, honey?" And I said, "We don't know." And she goes, "Come here, this will help you." And looking back, I think she said the word lymphedema, but it just was so far out of I didn't know. But, she was like, "You need to drink water, and, you need to put magnets on your water," which is a way of bringing the pH up, which I didn't know, of course, then, and I didn't know what she was talking about. And she's like, "Speak good things to your water." And I was like, "Okay, cray. But now it's like, oh, wow, I wish I was, I was young and I didn't know. But I bought that, and we were broke. We were young, and it was $500-$600, and I still use that same chi machine today. Every single day I use that machine. That's, I love that.
And the new thing that's coming back is the vibration plates.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I need to look it up. There's the one that you stand on and you can sit on it. And I was working a trade show and it was there and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, awesome. So the vibration plate, you're standing on the vibration plate and it jostles the whole body.
Yeah.
And like 10 minutes on this thing and
you've got your cardio workout, you've got your blood moving, you've got your lymphatic system moving,
Absolutely.
you've got, it's so, if I could encourage somebody to buy one thing, it would be a chi machine.
Yeah, the chi machine or the vibration plate.
Yeah,
because
something that's going to...
really popular. I remember my great-grandmother had one on the back porch, the belt that went
one?
around your butt. But here's what most people really need to know about the lymphatic system, in my opinion, is it doesn't have its own pump.
Right.
So it only moves when we move. So when you shake it up, even just sitting at the edge of the bed, bouncing, you gotta shake it up. Shake, rattle, and roll.
Turn on the music and wiggle, just move. And if you're bedridden or you're in, pain or you're swollen, pump your ankles, just, pump your wrists, do something, just move. Even if it's little movements. A little movement is better than no movement.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's not about, we're struggling, we're fighting, we're working towards getting legislation passed so that, garments and different things will be covered. But it's not, even if this is something you can do for free. You can move and it doesn't cost you money. You can drink water and it doesn't really cost you that much money. You can.
And if it's alkaline and with electrolytes, all the better.
It's going to do more for you. So,
And natural spring water has a lot of natural electrolytes and naturally pH balance.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So, and that's a cheaper way to go. That's, because I have mine. I'm lucky I have a delivery guy that brings my 5-gallon jugs of high alkaline water. But, depending on where you live, it's tough to find.
Yeah. Yeah, because the electrolytes are naturally, as it's going through the rocks. And the water has natural electrolytes in it. Yeah. So you just have to be real careful because I know we have one here in California that tested for chlorine. There's another one that is purified water with electrolytes, but it's super acidic, and I think that one's actually nationwide. When it's been proven test after test.
So Google these things, look it up, because you can find out what waters are good to to drink and what's not. And if you get a good water that's not alkaline, you can set it on a magnet and just a car magnet, and that will help bring up the So there's things that that you can do. There's things that you can do. And and work your way up to, to doing it. So what else do you want our viewers to know about how important it is to keep your colon healthy?
Well, like I said, it's the sewage system.
Yeah.
So if the sewage system backs up, everything's backing up. Nothing can get rid of its trash. Obviously there's 4 ways that we eliminate: through our breath, through, kidneys, bladder, through our skin, sweating, and through the colon. The colon is primarily responsible for getting rid of our waste.
Right.
And if the colon's backing up, then you're basically holding on to trash. The more you hold on to trash, the more it ferments or toxic, or...
And it'll bring, it'll bring your pH down. It'll make you acidic. Which diseases and cancer and all sorts of things thrive in that. Same with, that's the danger for people with lymphedema, is because that that oxygenated, I can't talk tonight. This is almost past my bedtime. You worked all day though, and you still talk to me, so I appreciate it. But that lymph fluid, sits there, and it's just
Stagnant.
a breeding ground. So but even more, your colon and your waste just sitting there is not a good thing.
If your colon is not moving, one of the biggest tips that I offer for free is Google, or you go on YouTube and search yoga for digestion, because that's something that you could do for free in your own home. That's something that you could also take on the road with you, because a lot of people suffer from traveler's gut. Because when they travel, they're out of their normal routine. And so the colon goes off. It's like everything goes off. Stress can cause things to go off. So, show yourself some self-love and take care of yourself, and make sure your stress levels aren't really super high either, because that will also cause toxins.
And that's, I'm talking about that a lot. Stress, there's physical stress, there's emotional stress, there's, environmental stress, there's all these stresses, and they come from different places, but they all cause the same thing. They cause you sickness. They cause your body to not be able to work properly. They cause breakdowns. And so you need to alleviate all the stress you possibly can from your life. And, if you have lymphedema and you're in constant pain, or you have any kind of a chronic pain, that's stress.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you can't alleviate the pain, then alleviate the other kind of stresses. Learn how to breathe, learn how to relax. How important is breathing?
We have a sign right on the wall right here that you look at the entire time that you are plugged in to our equipment. Breathing, your diaphragm sits right here, and it's right on top of the transverse colon. So as you're breathing, it's kind of like siphoning water up a little bit, to get that water to go a little higher. But just breathing, you're also exhaling, and you're getting rid of stress that way. Meditation is good, just to kind of take a chill pill. The thing is, again, listen to your own body. People hold stress in different areas. A lot of my clients, as soon as like the world throws something at them, their colon, everything just like knots up, so now their colon's sitting there like this. Well, the colon is supposed to contract to move things out. If it's sitting there like this, then literally they're holding on to their own crap.
Right.
Like I have clients like, oh yeah, I got in a fight with my boss 3 days ago. I haven't been since, or, whatever. I personally, my stress is all right here. This is, when the world throws something at me, it's like, how do I fix it? And I just immediately engage or put it on the shoulders,
Right.
So some people it's, they overthink it. So they get like headaches, or so what may work for you may not work for me, because if we hold our stress in different places.
Right.
So
it's good to find out what works for you. The other thing, deep breathing actually moves your lymphatic fluids, because when you're breathing deep, you're pushing on your lymph nodes and so forth in your abdomen. So deep breathing actually helps move. So not only is it getting more oxygen, not only does it help relieve stress, but it actually works as a pump. So it's really important to breathe. And that sounds silly if you hear somebody say it's really important to breathe, but think about, when's the last time you have just taken 5 deep, slow breaths in a row? Just take 5 deep, slow breaths in the morning and 5 deep, slow breaths in the evening, and you will be surprised. Or, I found that, when things start going crazy, I'm like, okay, just let me take 2 long, deep breaths, just relax, and then come back and attack the situation, But breathing is really important.
And that also prevents you from doing knee-jerk reactions like, oh my gosh, this is,
right.
It's like,
okay, gonna breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe.
What's going on?
Exactly. So it's good in all areas of your life.
It really is. And learning, your specific, again, listening to your body, absolutely listen to your body. What's the best way for you to deal with stress?
Yeah.
Without completely shutting yourself off from the whole entire world.
Right. Because that's actually not a good way, because then you're holding it in. Just because I can't see that you're stressed doesn't mean that you're not stressed.
Right.
So that's actually more dangerous.
Yeah, and a lot of people will. They'll try to that's one of the ways that they deal with stress. It's like they try to push everything away, everyone and everything away, and isolate.
Yeah.
And
I'm an isolator. I'm a fixer and an isolator. So like, I'm like, I got this. I'll smile. I got this. And and then I just, no, I got it. So that's the area that I work on. But, well, that's really fun. So thanks for putting up with our poop jokes.
I have one more.
Okay.
Why does tigger smell?
Why?
You would too if you played with poo all day.
Ba-dum-bum.
And that's one that I could tell anybody. Some of them I can't tell everybody, but that one's really short, quick, and I even tell it to people like, oh, tell your 4-year-old this. They like Winnie the Pooh. It's really.
That's funny.
That's my favorite one. It's the cleanest one, the shortest one, and my favorite.
So when I text her, I always send her the poop emoji.
I have poop emojis like everywhere. They're hidden in this office, and I share my office with other people. And I have one person who just thinks they're totally silly, but I have other people that's why they come to me, is because I'm totally silly.
Right. Well, you have to be able to laugh at your own poop, right?
Absolutely. Your own crap is, gotta laugh at it. But a lot of therapists are very zen. They're very quiet. They're, you're in holistic healing. And I'm one of the people that I believe you could heal a lot with laughter.
I was going to say laughter is a medicine.
So yeah, I try to provide, comic relief while you're,
Right, and it relieves stress, because it is scary for some people.
It really is.
It's
usually
not comfortable.
The first colonic is always the hardest, because it's like, you're going to put what where? You're going to do what?
I would say the first 3 were tough for me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Well, the first one,
you're horrified because you don't know what to expect.
You don't know what's coming down the pike for you. The second one, okay, so the first one's kind of more like a soaking and softening, depending on what you got going on. But if you're severely constipated, that's kind of just like a soaking and softening, and I'm just kind of getting stuff moving. The second one, okay, I'm going to get a little bit deeper in and, again, learn teaching you how to breathe and everything. The third one, sometimes I can hit pay dirt, and it is like black sludge just coming out of you. Sometimes it takes me to 6 sessions, depending on how constipated you are. And how well did you prepare when you came in? Are you going to come in and telling me that, you didn't drink your water? Well, now you're paying me
to hydrate
you when you could have done that.
Thank you.
Ahead of time. Did you chew your food? And again, if you're not chewing your food, you're not getting the nutrients, because if I can identify what you've eaten, I got a nice little window right here. We can all look to see what's coming out. If I can identify foods that you've eaten, you did not chew them, you did not get the nutrients from them, and now you're feeding the sewer rats.
So this is not a joke. Every time I eat a meal, I hear you in the back of my head saying, Peggy, chew your food. Look at this, chew your food. So every single meal that I eat, I hear Pam in the back of my head saying, chew your food.
Yeah, I have one client, she's like, I'm a freight train running through her head. Yeah. Chew,
chew, chew,
chew, chew, chew. So, yeah.
Because I was a fast eater, my family was a fast eater. I was raised just, eat, get the dishes done, and get out of here. We've got 30 minutes, and that's a hard habit to break.
It really is. And be gentle with yourselves. It took however old you are to develop that habit of eating fast, plus our society. I got 5 minutes, and you just inhale your food.
Or you wait till you're so hungry and you just eat because you're hungry, and then you eat really fast, and then you get that horrible feeling.
Right.
And you're not digesting anything because you inhaled it. And
so chewing your food until it's almost liquid, there is no magic number, people. Everybody goes, oh, I know, 25 times, 30 times, 35 times. There is no magic number. I can get peas to a liquid state a lot sooner than I can raw carrots.
So we covered a lot of stuff today, and I want you to just kind of give us some bullet points, some reminders. What do we need to do?
Okay, so on my card, which
Portraits by Peggy,
right, right, and so on the back, I'm just going to go over it real quick. Before a colonic, nothing to eat or drink 2 hours before. 2 days prior, stay hydrated. Half of your body weight in ounces per day. No caffeine, carbonation, alcohol. Those are all dehydrating. Avoid meat, dairy, and white processed flour. Those are the ooey gooey sticky things. Chew your food well, otherwise it could cause a lot of gas bubbles from your food rotting in your gut because you didn't chew it well. Digestion begins in your mouth. Juicing 2 days or more, even one meal a day will help. Obviously, the less you're putting in, the less I have to break up and get out. After a colonic, replace electrolytes recommended with alkaline water. Replace the good flora with a good probiotic, or eat sauerkraut. That there's other fermented foods that you could eat. Sauerkraut just has a ton of natural probiotics in it. Eat something easy to digest. Fish and brown rice, vegetable soup, and yes, you have to chew your soup. And then schedule your next appointment. I usually recommend about a week apart, but everybody's different. For 3 to 6 sessions. If you're severely constipated, we may recommend closer together. Plus, life happens. People go on vacation.
When I detox, I come in about every 6 months normally.
Yeah.
But when I detox, or if I'm having problems, I'll come in 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Until I get, maybe for a week or two. Because you've got to get that out. If you're clogged up, you've got to get it out. And I don't really have problems with constipation, but it's not clearing out. I'm not getting a good clear out because.
And then you could feel, like you said earlier, you could feel sick because you're having that cleansing crisis or that cleansing crash because you're breaking up all these toxins and they're not getting out. Especially if you're juicing because you're not putting fiber into the colon. So when the colon feels full, that's when it contracts to move things out. So if you're just juicing, you're not putting a ton of fiber in there, so it's not going to feel full. So you want to go in and flush it out.
Flush it out. And so, always, yes, eat healthy and be clean, but take care of yourself,
Show yourself love. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody or anything.
Right. You got to take care of you first. Thank you so much for talking to us today, Pam. This was fun. It's always fun to hang out with you.
When we get the time, right?
I know. We've been trying for 2 months to do this.
Easy.
Yeah, we've been okay, will you do this video with me? And finally I said, listen, it's almost the end of March. We have to do this. So thank you for making the time. I really appreciate it. And I hope all of the viewers appreciate it. So if this is the first video you have caught and you're like, who in the heck are these crazy people? Go to my YouTube and make sure that you subscribe, especially to this playlist. It's called My Lymphedema Journey. Most of my YouTube channel is photography related, but I have a little playlist that is all lymphedema. So I hope this helped you. You are welcome to share this, leave comments, and I look forward to seeing you soon.